Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if you're new here. I am your host, Davin James, glad to be here with all of you guys here today. Hope you're all doing well. If you guys don't mind, please remember to like, subscribe and comment. Helps a bunch, really shows your support, and really helps my channel along the way. Today, I'm talking about a reboot for the horror found footage movie Blair Witch Project, with the original one coming out back in 1999. So with that being said, let's get on with today's episode, shall we? One of the creators behind the Blair Witch Project says he has written scripts for more films in the series but hasn't been allowed to make them. Back in 1999, the world of cinema changed forever with the release of one of the most iconic horror movies of all time. Taking the found footage idea to another level, young writers Dan Myrick and Eduardo Sanchez came up with the terrifying Blair Witch. The film followed three young film buffs who in 1994 head out to a small town in Maryland to shoot a documentary about the infamous Blair Witch. It's also cut with interviews of local residents who have all heard stories about the terror inflicted by the male violent figure, as well as shaky handheld footage captured by the trio. Such was the power of the marketing, many went into the cinema convinced something seriously bad had happened to the actors. Missing posters were even put up, which I find really cool. So right here we have a woman named Heather, whose second name I don't know how to pronounce. Her age was 32, height 5'6", weight 127 limbs, eyes hazel, hair brown. Another part of the trio was Joshua Leonard, age 23, height 5'10", weight 152 limbs, eyes blue, hair blonde. Michael Williams, age 24, height 5'8", weight 169 limbs, or limb. Eyes brown, hair brown. Last seen camping in the Black Hills forest area near Buxtonville. If I got that right, I do apologise if I don't. Please call Frederick County Sheriff's Office with any information you may have. I find that really cool as well. Like, I've never seen a Blair Witch movie. It's one of those movies where I really want to see. Unfortunately, it's not on like any of the streaming services in the UK, including Netflix. It is available through buy or rent, so there is that option, I suppose. But I'm always like one of those people, I prefer to watch it on streaming other than to buy it, because it's free. I'm a cheapskate, what can I say? In terms of the marketing, I find that really cool, really creative, outside the box thinking. I probably would not have done like the missing poster thing, because I think that would have gotten a little bit of controversy and spark a lot of fear, but I understand why he did it, and I think it's a cool idea at the same time. Well, 25 years on, and after two fairly poor sequels, the original is getting a reboot. This probably explains why. And this is probably the reason why the creator was probably never able to get the other movies he wanted to make in terms of Blair Witch movies made. Maybe the studio really liked the first one, but then when it came to the sequels, like, yeah, that was not a good idea. These movies were very bad. They didn't make much money for us. Critics were really bad on these movies. A good idea to let these movies just distance off into the future and not make another one anytime soon. Maybe that's what it was. I don't know. I'm just speculating here. Filming the news, Blumhouse CEO Jason Blum said, "I'm very grateful to Adam and the team at Lionsgate for letting us play in their sandbox." I've said this many times. The greatest thing about Blumhouse Studios is that they can make a movie dirt cheap, and I mean really dirt cheap, and they can have a weird concept. Like, take for example, earlier this year, there was a movie called Night Swim, which was about a haunted swimming pool. Ridiculous idea. Absolutely ridiculous. Stupid, boring, didn't like the movie. However, it made money. So it goes to show you that Blumhouse might have some wicked ideas for these movies, and for some of us, they might not be executed very well, or you might just think the movie was not good in general, but at the same time, they can still make a lot of money, because they make them dirt cheap. So that's a kind of a genius method right there. Like, you can make a movie about like a haunted computer screen, for example, and you can probably make money. It's a weird idea, but at the same time, it's kind of a genius idea in the same breath, if that makes sense. However, two people who won't be involved in the remake are its creators, Myrick and Sanchez. Speaking to Loud Bible ahead of the 25th anniversary of the original movie's release, Merrick revealed that he has written scripts and put ideas for the prequels and sequels to Lionsgate, which were all dismissed. We've always had an idea for a prequel, which sort of explains the sort of colour line mythology surrounding the Blair Witch, and the story of Ellie Kedwood being vanished from the town, just a cool period piece of that ordeal. We thought we'd make a great sort of origin story for Blair Witch, sort of in the of the witch that came out, which I thought was brilliant, he told us. That vibe and that feel and that spookiness could play very well as an origin story for Blair Witch, and we've always wanted to do that. For whatever reason, Lionsgate just hasn't been receptive to that. Maybe it's because of the cost, I don't know, but it seems like the fans would love a Blair Witch origin story in that regard. We also wrote a script which was like a sequel, like a completely new episode that took place out in the same area of the woods, a more traditional narrative film that is rooted in the mythology, but doesn't try to play on the same found footage. Merrick also told us that he had a number of other ideas, creating a Star Wars fiction with different stories from the same canon being told in standalone movies. He explained the Blair Witch Project is one episode of that entire canon, right? Then you have the origin story of Ellie Wood, you have Eileen Trioko, if that's how you pronounce her name, episode that happened years later. Of course, Rustin Parr, which is 40 years later. You have all these different episodes, and we always thought it would just be cool to treat them as kind of disparate films in a pantheon of mythology. I've always envisioned the Rustin Parr movie like a 50s noir period piece, sort of black and white in the spirit of a Psycho or something. That looked right would be awesome. Or something that looked right would be awesome. I think the fans would love that. I don't know, maybe they'll come around. But the reality is that no one's called us. And not to downgrade any of the movies that have been made since then, but it just seems like, if nothing but from a strictly marketing perspective, getting the original guys back to do one seems like it has some value. But I don't know. I don't make the decisions there. I don't own the IP anymore. But one thing that's remained fairly consistent is horror has always been commercially successful when it's done right. Yeah, I've not seen Blair Witch. There's one of those movies where I will be watching at some point, sometime or another. And I very much look forward to watching it and seeing what the hype is about, for the most part. I came familiar with found footage through the Paranormal Activity movies. The first one being released, I think, back in 2007, if I'm not mistaken. And then the sequels following on from that, for the most part. And I really liked that concept. I found it interesting, I found it very engaging, kind of like Blair Witch. And it didn't feel scripted. It just felt like, in terms of the Paranormal Activity movies, that these people were experiencing weird phenomenons in their own homes, things that you couldn't really explain, and they wanted to document it to prove that they're not insane, for the most part. That's what I kind of got from it. And of course, there I found out it was actually scripted. It was an actual movie. It wasn't a documentary that people just randomly made. But nonetheless, the footage, the idea behind it was really cool and really fascinating at the same time. So, with saying that, what do you guys think of this news about a Blair Witch reboot? Are you excited? Are you interested? Are you a big fan of the original one? What do you think of Blumhouse having a helping hand in producing the potential reboot, if it does happen? Overall, let me know your thoughts. Until next time, take care, stay safe, I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye for now.